Hello everybody, I've wanted to do a talkie video for a while, but life has been very hectic. But I've sat down today and I don't really have a particular focus of what I'm going to talk about, nothing riveting, just all the thoughts that are in my head. I went for a coaching session today, so I've got lots of thoughts going on in my head from that. I think probably I just want to talk about that, what we talked about, and the plans that we've made and the actions that she set out for me, and it's going to help kind of embed it for me, I think. With these chatty videos, obviously sometimes there's a major focus, something really serious that I've learnt, and other times it's just because I really like having a voice here, and I always get such encouraging comments from you guys. It's just a really nice community and it's really nice to have an outlet. Obviously I've got an outlet with my friends, but I think one of the things that's really good about making films, doing YouTube videos, is that people from all over the world can connect with people in completely different situations. So people that don't live in the UK are watching this video, people that are not in my age range and dealing with the same sort of life issues. And I think it helps us all empathise with one another, which is great for the global community, isn't it? When I woke up this morning, there were 3 or 4 things that I felt really anxious about. One I mentioned in last week's Friday Diary, where I felt like I'd been really hijacked in terms of the plans for the flat. I talked to my coach about that, and I think I also mentioned in that vlog that I've been pursuing other goals, so it's not like it's been completely hijacked. There's been progress in other areas, so that's cool. The second one was the scary situation that I faced at work on Monday. I just didn't feel as well prepared as I'd like to for a course. I'm really hoping that he was happy with it and he's given me good feedback. The worst that can happen is that I don't get paid and I don't get any more work from that company. A good thing has come out of it though, because I've really nailed that course now. So we'll just have to see. I'm doing some work for that company tomorrow, and other courses I've done, I've had good feedback from. So let's see what happens about that and just let go of that anxiety. The third thing was Ben and I have been really enjoying having the place to ourselves. It's really helping our relationship, and it's helping us to pursue the things that we each want to in life as well. It's the first time we've lived on our own for like 33 years, 34 years nearly. So that's amazing. But obviously over the Christmas period, Louie's going to be here for a while in December, and Darcy's broken up from college, so she might be here quite a bit as well, because I think a lot of her housemates are going home. So I was just concerned about how we can maintain those boundaries, or maybe we just need to think, well, December's going to be like that, and enjoy the benefits of having the kids around. And maybe Louie can help me with some stuff, and Darcy can help me with some stuff to do with my music. So it'll all be good. So we talked at length about the fact that I was feeling hijacked about the flats and what we could do in terms of setting a deadline, and she suggested that we work backwards from the deadline. And I lost a couple of deadlines, some friends maybe moving in or a decorator being booked in to do some decorating. But there is another possible deadline. Hilary and Adam have moved into their own flat, but it has to have some work done on it, and of course her baby is due in March. They haven't really got control over when the work is going to be done, because it's being organised by the people that own the whole building, or the freeholders for the whole building. They keep contacting them and saying it's got to be done before the baby arrives, and that's March, so that's quite soon. Anyway, they will have to move out while that's happening, and I'd really like to be able to let them stay in the flat, so it would be good if everything was done by then. So she gave me some actions, and I have already contacted an electrician and a plasterer, but I couldn't get through to them, so I've left messages, but at least I've made those calls, so something's happening. And then if I can get that done in the early part of December, then I've got the later part of the month to do painting, and that can be part of my kind of self-care, self-nurturing things that I do, especially if there's other people around in the house. I can escape up there and I'll be doing something productive at the same time, and maybe other people can come and help me too. So that's that sorted, as long as we get the electrical and plastering work done. And the aim would be to have it all done by the beginning of January. I don't know if that's realistic. I was saying to her, oh, you probably think I'm really over-optimistic. And she said, oh no, that's a good thing, because that's what creates momentum, that's what creates impetus. So that's good to know that she thinks it's a good thing. I think it's a Cole trait, as you've probably noticed with Louis. So the overall goal that the flat fits into is being creative for me, to bring me joy, things I feel passionate about. And something else that I've only started talking to her about recently is YouTube. I never really mentioned to her before that I do YouTube, and I suddenly thought this is quite an important creative area for me, because I do feel passionate about it. It does bring me joy. And one of the things I really need to do is update my kind of branding type stuff, like my channel intro. It's 3 years old, and the artwork. And I watched the video recently because I wanted to see, you know, if it was communicating the right focus, and it pretty much is. It pretty much still is what I feel my channel is all about. But I do think I need to make the focus of my channel clearer in that intro video, make it a bit more concise, a bit more like an elevator pitch, so that people know what the focus is of this channel and they can decide whether they want to follow it or not. Maybe you guys can help me in the comments. I'm sort of thinking things like, I want it to give people inspiration, I want it to empower people, encourage people. If they see me tackling stuff in life at my age, maybe that's going to be inspiring and empowering. And if I'm struggling with things, I think that's probably really encouraging too, because people will think, oh, it's not just me, it's like a normal thing. And then we can help each other through these things. You guys are always helping me with like, oh, why don't you read this book? And that's what creates the community, and that's what I really love. So maybe this can be a community project too, articulating what it is you guys keep coming back for. What does this channel do for you? And then I can use your comments to communicate to potential subscribers and viewers exactly what this channel is about and what they will be getting on return visits, or whatever you like to call it. And then I want to keep doing fun videos as well. Those are always really popular. I've got loads of views on my husband and wife tag. Maybe we should do some kind of update on that, some different questions or something. Maybe we should do a Q&A. I said to Ben the other day, why don't we do my husband does my makeup, and he just rolled around on the floor laughing. Well, I think that could be quite fun. And also, he'd probably do it extremely well, because, you know, he's so artistic and stuff. I think I've mentioned before that I'm doing this coaching qualification as well, which is a completely separate thing from me going and getting coaching. Obviously it all helps, but I'm actually studying to be a coach as well. I don't know if I'll ever actually do that, but it's interesting studying it. And one of the modules was on upgrading yourself, and I couldn't really get my head around it to start with, because the person communicating the material kept comparing it to upgrading material things like your car and your house, and I can't relate to that at all. But the other day I was training on a new version of Microsoft Project, and it was an upgrade, and there was all sorts of things that were more relevant to now. And that's what my coach was saying to me today when I was talking about the branding. She was saying, you need to make it about you now. And I thought, yeah, it's an upgrade. And it suddenly the whole upgrading thing made sense. So that was quite cool. Maybe that's something else that you can help me with. What differences can you see in me compared to 3 years ago in terms of my channel? Am I communicating something different? Am I communicating things in a different way? Do I seem different? Maybe you can help me with that. So the deadline for that is the 1st of January. See if I can rebrand and release that on the 1st of January. Again, am I being over optimistic? Let's just give it a go. So then she started asking me about my work, and I had my head somewhere else, and I didn't really talk about the work. But I guess with work, I guess I've got to keep contacting training companies that I've done work for in the past. There's a lot of training companies I worked for before we went to Brazil that I've just never even contacted, because I've just had enough to keep me going in the meantime, but now I want to step it up. But what was really filling my head when she was asking me about that was the music side of things. So as you guys know, ages ago, again I think it's about 3 years ago, I went into the studio with the trio and we recorded 11 tracks. One is just one that we were using for a warm-up, but the engineer turned all the recording equipment on. So for the album, I only really want to use the 10 that I planned to, so that's cool. I've been to the studio since then and overdubbed the vocals, but when I got the tracks home, I thought, oh my goodness, I've developed a horrible vibrato. My vocal coach, who produced my first album, I wanted her to come into the studio with me again, but we just couldn't get any dates that we were both free, so I did it without her there, and I kind of regret that. But Darcy is studying music production and she says she can tweak that, and if that doesn't work, then maybe she can help me overdub the vocals and get rid of my horrible vibrato. Also, when I went in with the trio, I'd booked a saxophonist, and then she couldn't turn up on the day because she was stuck in Chile because of a pilot strike or something like that. So what we did was we left gaps for instrumental solos, and I've been thinking, oh, I need to book another instrumentalist to do those overdubs. And then I was thinking, well, for my first album, the original plan was that I played the violin, and my friend Craig, who you've seen in quite a few videos because we do quite a bit of duo stuff together, him playing the piano, but he's a really good saxophonist. I'd booked him, or I'd wanted to book him, to play the saxophone, and he didn't want to do it. He said that the standard of musicians was too high for him, which is a load of rubbish. But anyway, so that was sad, and then that made me lose confidence, and so I'd been having some lessons from Julian Ferraretto, who's an amazing jazz violinist, and when I was having a lesson and I was feeling all inconfident, I just said to him, would you like to record on this? And then before I'd hardly finished the question, he was like, yes please. So it turned out really good. The end result was really good, and I had Ben Castle, who's Roy Castle's son, doing the saxophone bit. So it's a really top quality CD album, and you can order it. I'll put the details in the description below. I can't believe it. Quite a few people have ordered my CD now that I've been mentioning it in videos and in the comments and things. So thank you. And yeah, if you want any Christmas presents, I will sign them personally as well. Let me know who you want me to sign them for. So I suddenly thought, yes, this is a dream that kind of got buried, that I would play the violin on my album. So why not me do the overdubs on the violin on those instrumental bits? So that's the plan. So the deadlines for that are that I've finished sorting out the tracks. I asked for the raw tracks from the engineer, and I've started putting them together on the MacBook with Logic, and it's actually easier than video editing. I forget how many years of experience of working with music editing software I've got, so that's cool. Maybe I can even get Darcy to mix and master it. You never know. But I need to get the tracks sorted out first. Then mixed and mastered, and I've got a gig early in February, and that would be a great opportunity to do some pre-launch promotion. So that's the deadline for that everything's mixed and mastered by the beginning of February. Again, maybe over optimistic, and it would be good to have the artwork as well. So maybe I can get Louis to do that while he's home in December, because he did the artwork for the previous album. So that's also what you're getting if you buy a physical CD, is artwork designed by Louis. So that's quite a lot really, and she suggested that I get a year planner. I had a year planner once on the wall, and it was great. You could just see at a glance what was going on and when you were busy and when you could slot other things in. So I'm going to get down to the stationers and get a year planner for next year, and that'll be good. So I think that's all really. So as I said before, if you've got any comments about what I should be communicating that my channel is all about, that'd be great. I'm just really grateful for this lovely community here. There are 1 or 2 pet trolls, but they're very entertaining. And yeah, I am looking forward to your comments, and I'll see you next time.